So now we're going to talk about radical denominators. So what that means, let's say we have, we're going to restart the numbering thing because I'm doing this on a different day, and B, because it's kind of a new topic in itself. So let's say we have 3 over root 7. Now we can't simplify root 7 at all, but it turns out that we don't actually like having radicals in the denominator very much. Eventually you might get to the point where it's fine, but at the moment we're going to say, at least for this year, that radicals in the denominator are a bad thing, quote unquote. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something called rationalize it. Rationalize. So when you rationalize something with a radical denominator, what you're doing is you're making sure that the radical, this rooty thing, is not on the bottom anymore. How do you do that? Well, what you're going to do is we're going to multiply it by root 7 over root 7. So what does that give us? That gives us, on the top we end up with 3 root 7, and root 7 times root 7 is just 7. And that's the right answer. So 3 root 7, 3 over root 7, is the same thing as 3 root 7 over 7. This over here is this is the bad one, because there's a radical on the bottom, and this one is nice and pretty because we have a radical, but the radical is on the top. So let's say we had 10 over root 5. So what we would do, we would multiply it by root 5 over root 5, which is going to be equal to 10 root 5 over 5. And now we can reduce these guys over here, and that's going to give us 10 divided by 5 is 2, which is 2 root 5. So, and this one actually I think kind of looks a bit prettier, right? So here we have 10 over root 5. 10 over root 5 is the same thing as 2 root 5. We'll do 2 more of these. We'll do they're useful ones. We're going to be using them actually later in this course. So 1 over root 2, that comes up in trigonometry, actually. So what we have is, we're going to multiply this by root 2 over root 2, and that's going to give us root 2 over 2. So 1 over root 2 is the same as root 2 over 2. The other example is going to be, this is a little more obscure. So we do something called secants and cosecants. So that we're going to multiply, oops, what we're going to actually do, I made a mistake there. It's not equal to root 2 over root 2, we're going to multiply it by root 2 over root 2. And then 1 times root 2 is root 2, and root 2 times root 2 is 2. Somewhere over here, that would have been a grievous error. We're going to multiply it by root 3 over root 3, and that's going to be equal to 2 root 3 over 3.